Hello yugioh, it's Blue Eyes 10 here with a very long-awaited deck update, and that is of course on the Blue Eyes Dragons! Yay! Finally complete! Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this was very difficult the past couple of months trying to actually find a build that I was happy with and 100% comfortable with, because as you guys know, mentioned in some vlog videos and everything, I was trying to find a draw engine slash thinning the deck out engine that suited my style and wouldn't hinder what I was trying to do with the deck and everything, and it's been very difficult. I've tried quite a few engines. I've tried the Chaos engine, I've tried the Egg Turbo engine, I've tried using Dragon Shrine and everything, and I think I finally found a draw engine and thinning out engine that works for me and works out for the deck pretty well. And the deck seems to be doing alright for the moment, but I think there's still maybe one or two tweaks that could be applied, but I'm not entirely sure what to apply. So if you guys have got any suggestions about that, then please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll take them into account and everything. But till then, I hope you enjoy this video, so here we go. Just to quickly warn you before we start, this might be a very long video because I'm going to take my time to explain everything that's changed in this deck, so please do forgive me for rambling on, but I feel better explaining everything in its entirety, because that's just how I've been trained, as an archaeologist and all that. I've been trained to see all angles, explain all angles and everything. But anyway, let's go on with the deck review, shall we? Here we go. Start off with one Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. As you guys know, my absolute favourite card in the game. Main aim of the deck is to get her out onto the field. A No-Me card, you can only be summoned by tributing a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon that I control. For every dragon type monster that's in my graveyard, she gets 300 attack, and she can negate the effects of targeting, which is pretty awesome. Then we have, of course, 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Because it's a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, you should always run 3. Then we have 3 White Stones of Legend, the baby Blue Eyes of the deck, level 1 Light type tuner. When it's sent to the graveyard, it adds a Blue Eyes White Dragon to the hand, so it's a mini engine in searching out the Blue Eyes. Then we have 3 Maiden with Eyes of Blue, a level 1 type spellcaster. When this card is targeted for an attack, I can negate the attack, switch her to defense mode, and then special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the hand, deck or graveyard. When she is targeted with a card effect, she can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the hand, deck or graveyard. I can only use the effect once per turn and only once that turn. So in other words, if you have 2 out, you can only use 1 Maiden and that's it. The other Maiden's effect will not activate at all because you've already activated another Maiden and everything. So fair enough, great card for summoning out Blue Eyes any way possible. Stalls the opponent, because the opponent doesn't want to attack or use effects on her because they know they'll get a 3000 attack beat stick on the field. Also, I'm glad they actually made it to once per turn, because I think it would be a bit too OP if it was like you could do it once or twice per turn, or only once, use its effect once per turn or something like that. But yeah, crazy, but a big boost for the Blue Eyes. This is the kind of card we've been waiting for, as you guys know, and I'm running 3 because 3 just makes it so better. And she's based off Kasara, the original maiden who had the Blue Eyes White Dragon spirit in ancient Egypt and everything, so that is pretty cool as well. So definitely a top favourite card alongside the Blue Eyes now. Next we have one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Yes, you heard me, I have a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon in the deck now. Surprised? Well, I am too, to be honest. The thing is with Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, I have never denied that it's a bad card. It's a very, very good card. It's just with the hype of the Chaos Dragon deck and everything, and some Dragon decks, Disaster Dragon decks I suppose mainly in general and everything, people were so hyped about this card being so good for Dragon decks that they were constantly saying to people like myself, you must use Red Eyes, you must put it in your deck and everything, you must use 3 and everything like that. But the thing is with that kind of attitude and these kind of cards in general is, if you keep badgering someone to put something in their deck that they don't want to use, then the more they're not going to use it. But I got this as a wee birthday gift from David from the Joey's World thing when I went to Anime Republic, and I decided to just try it out and everything, and it actually works very, very well, especially when using with the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, because Azure Eyes is the first effect of protecting dragons that are on the field, activate when it's special summoned, and since this can reuse its ability over and over again, it reuses Azurize's effect over and over again, and it's really annoying. It's also good for summoning out a white stone and synchroing into a Star Eater if I really need to, summoning out the Blue Eyes in general. I don't see this as a backbone of the deck, I just see this as a card to help out the deck and everything. So if it ever comes off limited and goes to semi or something, anything like that, I don't think I'll use 2. I think 1's just enough for this deck and everything. As I said, it's not a backbone card, it's just a help card. So that's the reason I'm running it now. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to like, yay, she's finally running Red Eyes. Yeah, I'm running it for the moment. It could change in the future, but for the moment it is working out so far and I'm pretty happy with it, so I'm pretty fine with that. Right, next is 2 Bright Star Dragon. Now 3 was a bit OP because there were times when I did draw into the 3rd one and it's like I didn't have anything really left to use it with or anything, so I thought 2 was more than adequate. It's a 19 attack, level 4 beat stick. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field, except this card, increase that target's level by 2 until the end phase. So, main combo is to use it with the Maiden with Eyes of Blue, because you target Maiden, Maiden's effect goes off, summons a Blue Eyes, and then you've got a level 3 Maiden who is also a tuner, and I can sync with Bright Star into level 7, or I can sync with Blue Eyes into level 11 depending on the situation and everything. So a good combo to get the Blue Eyes OTK that I'm using in this deck, which is with the Ancient Sacred Wyvern. You know, it does a good amount of damage, which I'll probably explain in a little bit. Next we have 2 Divine Dragon Apocalyph. Once per turn I can discard 1 card and then target a dragon type monster in the graveyard and add that target to my hand. Great for recycling. Hello sweetheart. That's just my boyfriend, everybody. Great for recycling any dragons that I need back, reusing Bright Star Dragon's effect, or my classic combo is getting back Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and then remove from play this card so it obviously doesn't get run over by battle, summoning out Red Eyes and then doing combos that way. Or even just as discarding fodder for discarding Blue Eyes or White Stone or anything to get them in the graveyard, you know, that sort of thing. So a really useful little card there. Next we have 1 Exploded Dragon. I just like this as a nasty surprise for the opponent. When a monster destroys it by battle, the monster that battled it is destroyed as well. So pretty cool. Next we have 2 Shining Angel, and finally got a monster engine for the deck besides the White Stone, and I chose the Shining Angel since 90% of the cards, monster cards I run are light type. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 light monster with 15 attack or less from your deck in face-up attack position. So, brilliant for searching out the Maiden. I mean, if you attack this, I search out Maiden, of course, the opponent probably more than likely will not attack into Maiden, because again, they do not want a 3000 attack Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field. Searches out itself, the White Stone, Honest, Effect Veiler, just any light type monster that I need in the deck, basically. I was thinking about running a Masked Dragon alongside that as well, but I couldn't really find room for it, and with the Masked Dragon one as well, yes, I've got a good number of dragons that I can target with as well, but Shiny Dragon works in the long run because, you know, it summons out the Maiden, which is like what I see as a backbone of the deck, which is to summon out the Blue Eyes and all that sort of thing. Next we have, of course, 1 Honest, because again, 90% of my monsters are light type, so why wouldn't I run Honest? Then we have 1 Effect Veiler. Now, I went down from 3 to 1 because I was speaking to a good friend of mine at Anime Republic called Kevin Chan, and we were discussing, he was really helpful with deciding what would be best for my deck and everything. He's a really enthusiastic player, he plays with really amazing decks and everything. His most famous one that I've gone against is a Gustav deck, which was a lot of fun to go against. He suggested that because I focus on Blue Eyes and everything, I should maybe reduce this to 1 or 2 at least, because I don't want too many hand traps in the deck that are going to hinder me when I need to get monsters out in the field, because Blue Eyes is in general just a beat down kind of deck, you know, summon out your big attack monsters, run everybody over. So And he was right, because there were a few times where I had in previous builds where I had multiple effect veilers in my hand and I couldn't really use them, I couldn't do them for anything. Not only that, he actually said, did you actually use it as a tuner at all, or ways to use it as a tuner? And I said, not really, and that's probably the reason. I use it mainly as a hand trap, not as a tuner, as it's intended and everything. So I think more one's okay for the moment. It's not hindering or anything. Hindering me or anything. I keep it for when exactly the right moment that I need it. So yeah, big props to Kevin Chan for that. Thank you for your help with that. But that's the monster count there, down to 20 now. I used to run like 23, 24 monsters, but I've trimmed it down, thankfully. For magic cards now, we have one Dragon's Mirror, of course, because it's the way I used to fusion summon. Staples of Dark Hole. 1 for 1 to special summon out level 1s, mainly Whitestone or Maiden. Mainly Maiden, but I can summon out Whitestone if I need to, depending on the situation. 1 Book of Moon. 1 Gold Sarcophagus in case I need to search out something. I wasn't originally running this, but I decided to pop it in because there were a few times in duels where I might have used up the draw engine or thin engine and I still couldn't get to the card I wanted, and I was like, oh, how can I get to it? And even the Gold Sarc waits 2 turns, it guarantees at least I'll get the card to my hand within at least 2 turns. So then we have 2 Forbidden Lance. I would like to fit a 3rd in, but I'm not sure where I'm going to do that. If you've got any suggestions, once you've seen the whole deck list and everything, then please let me know. But Forbidden Lance is a great card for protecting your monsters, no problem. Then we have 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, obviously to get rid of back row. Then we have 2 Silver's Cry, quick play Monster Reborn for normal dragon type monsters that are in the graveyard. I still think this is one of the best artworks ever made, to be honest with you. Then we have thinning out the deck engine, which is 3 Dragon Shrine. Now, in my previous deck video I said I wasn't going to run this because I felt like it didn't synergise with the deck very well. That was when I was running the Egg Turbo engine. I was running Cards of Consonance and trading and everything. But the way this works is, with the 3 Dragon Shrine, it thins out the deck by almost 6 cards if you count for each one I send 1 Blue Eyes. If I'm not sending Blue Eyes, I can send other cards to start combos. For example, say I have a Divine Apocalypse in my hand, use this, send a Red Eyes Darkness Melt to my hand, recycle, boom, big Red Eyes Darkness plus a big dragon on the field, that sort of thing. Send Whitestone to the graveyard as well. Main combo I like to say is like send a Blue Eyes, send a Whitestone, add a Blue Eyes, which is kind of a phrase whenever I use this card. A Foolish Burial for dragons, basically. Thankfully it's only once per turn, so it's a fair card and everything, but it thins out the deck really quickly. It gets the dragons I need in the graveyard depending on what I need and everything. And because I'm not running the Egg Turbo engine anymore, I've got no hindrance about sending Blue Eyes to the graveyard or anything like that at all, so this really helps in thinning out the deck quite a bit. And the other reason I'm not using the Egg Turbo engine is, oh, there's Zip going off at the door, probably the postie, is I'm running 3 Wonder Wand. Now, you might think, oh wait, that's a bit too much, but I'm going to explain in detail why. When I was running the Egg Turbo engine, there was a lot of times where I could have used the Blue Eyes or Whitestone in my hand, but I couldn't because I was keeping it back for the Cards of Consonance and the trade-in engine. And a lot of the time I was often thinking as well in my duels, when Maiden was out in the field, oh, I wish I had Wonder Wand in order to order to combo with the Maiden and summon out the Blue Eyes and everything. And it's like, I wish I'd popped that in, and I was thinking, you know what, Wonder Wand's probably the best engine for me because, well, it means I don't have to hold on to a Blue Eyes or Whitestone. It equips to Maiden, so Maiden's effect will go off, and even if the Blue Eyes, all 3 Blue Eyes in the graveyard, Maiden summons from the hand, deck or graveyard. So if I use a Dragon Shrine and max them out, Maiden comboed with this means I get my Blue Eyes back no matter what. And Wonder Wand also gives me 3 options when it is equipped to Maiden. Well, once it's summoned its Blue Eyes, then I've got a monster with 500 attack on the field, so I can attack. I can still synchro with Maiden if I wanted to go with Blue Eyes into Azure Eyes if I so wanted, or I can use its draw power ability of tributing the Maiden and getting 2 cards, So I think Wonder Wand's the best draw engine I could think of for my deck at the moment. you know, because it gets out the blue eyes, it gives me 3 options afterwards to do whatever I want. So it's the best option. Yeah, it can be a bit hand cloggy if I don't have Maiden out and everything, but you know, that's the thing with decks, you know, you can never ever get a deck perfect. So that's the best engine I've chosen for my deck, because it works with my playstyle and everything. Yes, there's the hindrance of I have to tribute the Maiden and everything, but 9 times out of 10, you know, drawing card, often in the 2 cards that I draw, 9 times out of 10 I will get what I need in order to protect the blue eyes, do other synchros, etc, etc. So, onto traps now, running 2 Mirror Force because it's 2 Mirror Force. I consider this a deck staple, I don't need to really explain. Then we have 1 Fiendish Chain. Now I would like to add a second one in as well. Again, if you've got any suggestions on what to maybe swap, please post down in the comments below. I don't think I'll ever go above the 40 card limit, sadly, unless they officially say the card limit and the deck limit is raised, because I just can't run a deck over 40 cards. I don't know why, I'm so OCD with that. But anyway, 1 Fiendish Chain, obviously to negate effects and stop attacks and everything, can target anywhere in the field, and that, you know, it's just such a good little card. I was running Breakthrough Skill instead, but the problem with Breakthrough Skill is it's a great card. It's basically a double effect veiler, but the problem is its first effect goes off on the field, where its second effect can only go off on your turn. So it's a great card, but I was a bit dubious about it. Fiendish Chain doesn't have any hindrances like that. It's just play, boom, monster stopped, effect stopped, you know, end of basically. So yeah, that's the main deck, 40 cards. As I said, I would like to fit in a second Fiendish Chain and a third Forbidden Lands. If you've got any suggestions about that, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. On to the extra deck now. We have, of course, 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, 45 attack beat stick, the fusion card, the Blue Eyes, the tribute fodder for Shining Dragon. Then we have 3 Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. When this card is special summoned, dragon type monsters you currently control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects until the end of the next turn. Such an overpowered effect there. I mean, as I said, reusing it with Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, or even Call the Haunted, Monster Reborn if you're playing traditional format. Anyway, this card is special summoned, that effect goes off, which means all dragons are safe from things like Dark Hole, D-Prison, Compulse, and all that kind of thing until the end of the turn. Of course, depending if that is actually special summoned successfully. Second effect is once per turn during your standby phase, you can target 1 normal monster in my graveyard and special summon that target. So since it's Blue Eyes, it can be Blue Eyes, but since it's a normal monster, it can be any normal monster you want basically, if you do incorporate this into your deck, if it's got like normal beat sticks or a normal ace monster like Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon, etc, etc. Such a brilliant card for the Blue Eyes. Again, I think the artwork's pretty awesome, but at the same time it's reminiscent of that Blue Eyes White Dragon from the starter deck Cav Evolution, which I wasn't too keen on, but it's still an awesome card. I'm running 3, definitely. Then we have 1 Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Not a dragon, but great for trying to do the Blue Eyes OTK in this deck, which I mentioned earlier. Blue Eyes OTK basically means Bright Star Dragon plus your Maiden plus the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Okay, Bright Star effect targets Maiden, Maiden goes off, summons Blue Eyes, and then Maiden becomes level 3, and then a sync Maiden with the Bright Star Dragon, and it becomes Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Blue Eyes attacks first, say it does 3000 damage, and then Ancient Sacred Wyvern gains attack if the opponent's life points are lower, so it goes up by 3000 to 5100 attack, and that's game basically. Also, if it's destroyed by battle, then it can be special summoned if I pay 1000 life points. So it's a good little card. It means trying to destroy it by battle, it's just going to come back and be a bit more of a beat stick each time. And you know, it's a good. I've only got 1 because I think 1's more than adequate. Sometimes I pull it off, sometimes I don't. Depends really. And please excuse me for a moment. Hey guys, sorry about that. My boyfriend was just leaving for work and I just went to see him off and everything. So yeah, right. Back onto the deck review now. With the extra deck, we've got 1 Black Rose Dragon to, of course, blow up the whole field. I have heard about the Moonflower Black Rose Dragon, and that will be getting a release soon. I really want that card. It looks so amazing, and it's got an amazing effect as well. 1 Stardust Dragon to protect my monster. my monsters and that from destruction effects. Now I would like to get the Shining Stardust Dragon, or the Flashing Carrot Stardust Dragon. I'm not sure what name it's actually called, because that would actually work very well with my deck, because if it targets Maiden, it gets a Blue Eyes out on the field. So I would like to get one of those as well, but unfortunately it's quite an expensive card at the moment, and I'm sorry, I can't help but stare out the window. There's a couple of birds fighting over there. Daft birds. So yes, the one Stardust Dragon. One Trident Dragion. Main way to get into this is a white stone plus a Azure Silver Dragon. This can also be considered as an OTK card, because when you destroy 2 face down cards of your own choosing, it gets an extra attack for each one, and it's a 3000 attack beat stick. So 3000 attack times 3, that equals game if you can get that through and get it off. Then we have one Star Eater. This is Ghost Rare Star Eater, a level 11 synchro monster. Main way of getting that is, of course, Blue Eyes with a level 3 Maiden if it's been targeted by a Bright Star Dragon effect, or a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and a White Stone. So I do have several combos to get that way. Its synchro summon can't be negated. When it's synchro summoned, cards and effects cannot be activated. If this card attacks, it's unaffected by other cards until the end of the damage step. So brilliant for getting over things like Mirror Force and stuff like that, because, you know, it's unaffected by that sort of thing. And it's 32 attack as well, so it's a pretty big beat stick as well. And a pretty cool card, I won't lie. Good grief, I'm getting so tongue-tied all of a sudden. Right, finally, onto the Exceeds now. We have one Queen Dragoon Jin. Dragon type monsters I control can't be destroyed by battle except for her. And once per turn, I can detach an XYZ material to target a level 5 or higher dragon that's in my graveyard to special summon it. Its effects are negated and it can't attack, so I can use it if I wanted to get back Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, but again the main aim is of course to get out the Blue Eyes White Dragons if I really need to get them out. Okay, next one is number 39, Utopia. I don't plan on running any of the other rank Utopias at all. I think the original one's the best, really. Detaching XYZ material negates attacks, or any card that attacks basically, which is pretty cool. Then we have one Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, 2 level 8 monsters needed. It's brilliant for Singularity Destruction, also brilliant for getting monsters into the graveyard when you tribute them from the hand or field, White Stones, Blue Eyes, etc, etc. Just great for getting rid of any annoying back row or annoying cards that happen to be out in the field. And then we have 2 number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. Now I've had some people suggest to me, why don't you throw in Feralgrand Dragon, the Feralgrand Knight as well. I am thinking about it, but I'm still not so sure. But I like Galaxy Eyes over it at the moment, because Galaxy Eyes Tachyon is a mini skill drain, in the battle phase. As a result, you know, every time a card effect resolves, then it gains 1000 attack and is allowed to attack again. So it gets multiple attacks plus an extra 1000, as well as being a mini skill drain in the battle phase, which is pretty cool. And it looks a bit like a Shining Dragon in some way, even though it's actually not. Apparently it's the evil counterpart of the Galaxy Eyes. It's a pretty cool card, I really like it. And there were a couple of times in the duel when I had one out, it got destroyed, and I was like, you know what, I really wish I had a second one. So boom, there's the second one. And that's that. I'm not running number 46 Dragoon anymore because I never got out, and there's no point in having a card in the deck where I never get it out. So he's out for the moment until I need it again, really. So anyway guys, that's it for the Blue Eyes deck video. I'm sorry if this has been a long one, but as I said, I want to explain fully all the card choices I made. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and well, that's it. I don't have anything else to say. So till then, from me and the Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!